Hi everybody. So I just talked for about 20 minutes and it wasn't even on record, so basically to sum everything up here, I passed Toronto, which is nice, and traffic is moving well over 100 kilometers now. That's good. There's space in front of each car ahead of me. No one's pumping the brakes anymore. Really good. But visibility is awful. It's totally misty rain. I can see Lake Ontario to the right. That's pretty cool. But I'm definitely outside of the suburbs even. It's looking pretty rural. And almost time to get gas. One thing I was saying is that about gas, I got really smart this time as I was leaving Windsor, Ontario. There's one Flying J. There's actually two places to use your card, Flying J and Husky in Canada. My corporate card, which is what I like to do right now, instead of stressing my accounts and using my own money for gas. That saves me $3 a fill-up, but I like the convenience of the corporate card right now. I knew that this Flying J I was passing in the middle of the night in Windsor, leaving Windsor, was like the last one I was going to see for a long time. So I got smart, and even though I had the sense to just keep on driving, I pulled off, went to that Flying J, and topped off an expensive Canadian gas fill-up. Almost $4 a gallon here. So, probably with a conversion rate, it knocks it back down to probably about $1 more than you pay in the States. Still not very good. Definitely knocks down my earnings. So, because of that, I was able to get through Toronto without needing gas. Had I had to get over from all those lanes into the slow lanes, trying to get off the highway in that busy Toronto metro, holy shit, it would have been horrible on our time. That would have been awful. So it was super lucky that I did that. And now I've got my choice of these little rest area fuel stops, which are probably a little pricier, or maybe I can search out a Flying J, and I've got plenty of time to do so. I'm just passing half a tank of gas, which leaves me 180 miles to find fuel. Probably a little less than that. I'm not going to run it to zero, right? So a good 100 miles to find fuel. We've got a Petro-Canada, and I don't know if my corporate card works at Petro-Canada, so we're going to skip that. So the ultimate point of this, now I'm going to switch it to the main point of this video, but good news on gas, so I'm real happy about that. My ultimate point, as per the title of this video, is going to shippers places, and what you'll find when you get to a shipper's place. I'm provided with some numbers, and that's really it. That number is usually, there's an AETC number. No one told me what that stands for, but that's the number that shippers use to reference my whatever I'm getting. These shippers are usually logistics places. They have 8 million shipments going out. They're loading 30 trucks at a time or whatever, and they don't know, exactly what you're talking about when you go to the window and say, hey, I'm here from this, where's my pallet? They do know that you are probably in a rush, so they try to do things, but they don't necessarily know where any of your stuff is or what's going on, so they can be at a loss. In this case, the guy started typing my number into the computer, and it wasn't coming up as anything, and there's a reason for that. So he asked to see my phone, which I thought was really stupid, because if he drops my phone, you think he's going to pay for it, and it's a cement floor. I don't have the case on it, and it's my phone. Nobody touches my phone. That's my phone. So there's no reason for him to see my phone, because there's no other number on it than what I'm reading to him. But apparently in his mind, there was something he was going to see that I didn't see. In his, I am this person, and I know from my experience what I am doing. kind of deal. Well, here's what really went down, and this is how you can get lucky at shippers. This won't always happen. But there happened to be one guy behind me in line, and he goes, hey, luckily he was listening to what was going on. He goes, your shipment's going to Quebec, Canada? I say, yeah. He goes, 200 pounds, 250, one skid? And I go, yeah. He goes, I think I got what's going on your truck. And it would make sense that they didn't have any numbers because they hadn't taken in the pallet yet and given it the reference number that it was assigned. So, that being said, next thing you know, they knew what was going on, and from there, my van had been backed up to the ramp to get loaded. His van was now in front of mine, backed in, meaning that the forklift wouldn't be able to get out of the building and get to his van to load my van. In my initial thought, I thought he was going to move, I was going to move, he'd back up, they'd get it off his truck, I'd back up, but they weren't having that game, and he knew what was going on because he had been in this situation before. He knew that, so he was able to tell me. He was a super nice guy, which was totally awesome. He said, listen, I'm just going to pull forward, you'll pull next to me in an open part of this parking lot right around here, and the guy's going to come up with his forklift, he'll get into my van, get the pallet out, shove it right into your van, and we'll be out of here, because apparently they won't need to do even any paperwork or anything. So that is how it went down. The guy came on a forklift and did his thing and got us out of there. And then the guy had some paperwork for me, a bill of lading, and then an envelope with the export paperwork that I needed to fax over to my dispatch so they can get the paperwork started for me to cross the border, which can take a couple hours. So luckily I got it to them as soon as I was loaded. And it worked out that about the time I got to the border was about the time the broker had the stuff all set. So my moral of my story is, don't always expect a shipper to know what's going on. If you get in this job and you think it's going to be just, going somewhere and saying, I'm here for this, and they load you up and you're like, wow, cool, driving away. It is way more involved than that. You've got to deal with these shippers, try to get them to understand I've gone to some shippers, they don't know what the load is, they think you're going to get 5, you were told 2, it's not going to fit in the van, a manager's got to come over, phone calls got to start getting made across the country, and just nonsense. So, that being said, then you've got to do your paperwork. As soon as they are loading you, you got to call dispatch, and the quick way to do paperwork, if you don't have this equipment, you're going to have to go to the next rest, like a gas, one of these, the nearest trucker stop, and use their fax machine to fax over shit. That is going to take all your time, and that's going to take your money, and you're not going to be making any money doing that. So you got to get one of these printers, and mine has a scanner, which incidentally I broke. So you're not going to use a scanner. What you can do even faster is do what I have on my phone. You're going to buy a better phone, like I had to do. Get an app on there called Cam Scanner, which you can photograph your paperwork. It turns it into a PDF file, and that's acceptable to the company. They don't accept JPEG or blurry pictures or whatever. This thing cleans up the image, saves it as a PDF, and shoots it out through your email to them reasonably quick. If you learn the app and know all your buttons, you get through in about 6 or 7, 8 minutes, depending on how many pieces of paper you got. I had 4 pieces of paper, took me about 8, 9 minutes, and they had everything they needed to start working on getting the Canadian customs paperwork, which is has to happen because that takes hours, and I was only hours from the border, and you don't want to sit and wait. So that being said, that's what you got to expect at a shipper's place. There's a paperwork headache. Your phone's got to be working. By the way, check this out. when I got there, because I make these videos on this phone, it locks up the memory. It kind of it takes up all the memory on the phone, and if I don't delete everything, it starts getting funny, and it wouldn't send the emails. I didn't really understand that was going on, so I had to stop. Luckily, on the way to this logistics place, there was a Metro PCS store, so I knew, let me stop in there on the way back and ask the guy what I need to do to get these emails to send. He was very, very helpful, reset the phone. And so I didn't reset it, just knew to power off, power on, told me to delete a whole bunch of shit, which I did, and next thing you know, the emails were sending, and I was rescued. So that being said, that took an extra half hour, which is the half hour I had to wait at the border for the shipper to get the paperwork done. So a lot of things are dependent on dumb little crap things, like your phone working very good, and me not fooling around too much and having too many videos. Well, that being said, I'm going to upload this one, so I only got 11 minutes. It'll upload pretty quick. The rain, I thought maybe I'd get through it by now and see some clear weather. No, man, it is nothing but misty rain all ahead of me. Hopefully you can hear this okay. At least traffic is flowing steady. There's traffic, but it's not too heavy. People are running good space between each other, and it's moving well above 100 kilometers still, not 100 miles an hour. That'd be nice, right? And we've got about 5 hours even left to drive. So, maybe I'll update one more time, and you guys will know what the deal is. Until then, see you soon. Now you know a little bit more about what the deal is with this expediting job. What are the thrills? What are the chills? If that makes any sense. Okay. Please like and subscribe. Leave comments in the comment section telling me about what you want to know. And we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody who subscribes to this channel. It's definitely awesome that you do that.